Hey everyone, it's me Lauren. I am doing a tutorial today on the Escapist 2 prison editor. I wanted to do this because there's not a lot of tutorials out there for the editor that actually show you how to use it. There's a lot of gameplay for the people that have built prisons in the editor, but not anything that actually shows how to make the prisons. So I wanted to do that today for a point of reference for those that are trying to figure out how easy or hard it is. So I'm going to jump right in and start the tutorial. So this is just the overview. It talks about the building blocks, the checklist that you have to meet to make sure that the prison is actually playable. That is very important when you want to go and play test to make sure that everything's sized correctly, there's enough items, to make sure that everything flows really well. And then it talks, tools and presets, the prison settings. So press OK. So over here you have your checklist. You have your inmate cells, your meal hall, your gym, your roll calls, shower room, and all that kind of stuff. So the 0 out of 8 means that there's no inmate cells. You have to have at least 8. So 0 out of 8 means there's none. So you have to have 1 out of 8, and then 8 out of 8 means that you have a complete set to actually go and you've met the minimum requirement is basically what that is. Of course you're more than welcome to put more than one in. That's totally fine. But this is your checklist, and as you're filling them out, they'll disappear. And then over here, these are preset rooms that meet the checklist for you. So if you're not quite sure kind of how you want to fill your spaces, they kind of give you an idea of um, they give you all the requirements in the cells. So you can go ahead, click this, place it, and oops, wrong thing. And see, there's 4 out of 8 cells right now. So that's what you want. And you press tab to rotate the cells. So if you want to turn them a certain direction, you can go ahead and do that. So now there's 8 cells, so you can see over here that the inmate cells were taken off the checklist. So if you don't like where something's placed, you just press right click to erase it, and it vanishes. So they tend to leave the open spaces like that. If you want to get rid of I'll call it a stamp. Well, it is a stamp. If you want to get rid of it, you just go over and click the square that has the green check mark. So they do tend to leave open spaces like that. If you want to fill that up, you can go over here and they have tiles for you to fill. So you just left mouse click, and you can just fill them up like this. This is the space that you're working in, the size. So this is how big your space is to actually build your prison. I would suggest kind of starting off small, because when you do play test all the way through, the characters are about as big as this square, not necessarily any bigger. So you, like I said, you can either go and use some of these preset rooms, but if you really kind of want to just try and be creative, you can just go and kind of just start drawing things. So, you know, here's an area, here's an area, here's an area. So you're also more than welcome. They actually have zones that you can create. So if you don't want to use a preset room, um, and this that I'm using is the boundaries. These are kind of what indicate the outside of the prison. So this is all outside stuff. This is barbed wire. So if you want to have um, wiring go around, um, you can have this to be like, oh, you need wire cutters to get through and all that kind of fun stuff. This is showing kind of the floor too. So once you kind of have more of your outline defined by the outside, you can then go into floor 2 and start putting things up there, uh, prison cells, all that kind of fun stuff. And you have your vent and your roof. Again, those will show up once the outside has been more defined, but we will at least get this kind of set up a little bit. So, you've got your outside going on. You kind of liking how it looks. So you can go in and kind of section off things as you will. So over here you have the zones that you can create. So this can be a prison cell if you so wanted. I'll show you that in just a second. I want to go over to this real quick. These are all the objects. So these are all the props and items and escape routes and all these miscellaneous things that you can add into the prison at any time, anywhere you like, as long um, as long as you have all the other checklist items in your placements. So I'm going to show you go back to the zone again and show you how that works. So you're going to create zone, and then you're going to pick, do you want to do a roll call, the prison control room, a contraband room, prison cell? So you have all these options from the checklist to pick from. So I'm going to do an inmate cell. So you're going to create the area that's going to be the inmate cell. So once you've got that highlighted, it'll be like, okay, here's the required items that you need to have in the cell. So you can have a bed, you can place it wherever you want, and you're always welcome to add in like walls. So if you want to keep things separated, here's the bed, here's the toilet, um, restroom area, stuff like that. Go ahead and stamp that over there. Have a desk, put that over there, and need a door. So stick that right there. Boom. There you go. And then they give you other kinds of props that if you wanted to put in there, you could use them if you so desired. That way it doesn't feel so empty and you can kind of make it your own. Make it a little bit more interesting. So you can throw a desk. They also have different types of desks depending on what you're feeling like. And they rotate. So if you wanted a different type, so you can do it any way you'd like. So, go ahead and go in and make it yours just a little bit. Make it interesting. Make it a little grungy. Nothing wrong with that. So, stick a chair in, kind of. So this is still a little big for what it should be, but just because I wanted to show you guys how it works, that's what that is. And then you can go over here and then deselect the zone. That way you're not still working in it. And then you can fill the inside areas with tiles. So this is like, I believe it's like the shower room kind of. That's what goes, or I'm sorry, the infirmary. That's what that is. It goes into the infirmary. And then I like to use the roll call presets just because I find that it's a little bit easier and it helps me kind of center where I want things. So you have your roll call, and then again, you have different types of options for inmates. You can do bunked together, you can do sideways, and you can do your horizontal and then vertical. And then this is the solitary block that you can get all kinds of setup and all that fun stuff. And then you have guard cells, or I'm sorry, not guard cells. Yeah, guard cells where the guards sleep and stay and all that fun stuff. And you have the prison control room, you have your kennels, and then the infirmary, the meal hall, shower, all that kind of fun stuff. So you can go ahead and kind of place things wherever you want. Kind of make it, make it your own. Do whatever you feel is right. Actually, I don't want to use that. Let's do, yeah, we want this. So go ahead and stick these in here. I like to kind of keep things just a little separate. Alrighty. We got our solitary block. You need at least 4. I tend to do my solitary block all together. That way it feels a bit more solitary. So I like to do a little hallway, And I tend to do a door here, just because it is the solitary block, and you're gonna be there for a little while. So we'll stick that there. Stick that there. So there's the solitary block. Check. So now you can add in, like, you can add in the meal hall, which can be kind of right off the solitary block, or sorry, the roll call. And then just because I like logic and putting things that are similar close to each other, I tend to put things nearby. So you now have the kitchen. What else? We need our gym. That's everyone wants to work out, right? Okay, so we can have this. And you're more than welcome to change the layout of things if you don't like how something is, or if you don't like the layout, you're more than welcome to go in and what's the word I'm thinking of? Go in and change it and place things in different areas. So like, say you want to put the shower room back here. You just go in, right click erase, and you just kind of add in the space where you want it. So then you can go in and be okay, shower room, you know, want to put that kind of right here, you know, leave some options for them. It doesn't have to make per se a lot of sense. I mean, especially if you're just kind of learning how this works, there's nothing wrong with kind of being experimental and figuring out kind of how you want to go about it. So if it doesn't look quite right, go ahead and fix it, but you know, get a start in there. So now you have that. We'll erase that because we don't need it. Alright, so we need an infirmary still. So you have different options. Here's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3, kind of on the smaller side. So I'll probably put the infirmary kind of up by the inmates, since I would think that they tend to fight a lot. So go ahead and kind of put that in the general vicinity. Can go and create that boundary. Fix it up just a little bit. And you can go ahead and put these on like the second floor if you so wanted, if you needed one or if you wanted one. You can go ahead and put them on the second floor. That way you can kind of spice it up a little bit, you know? So then we have the job office. Stick kind of fill the space up just a little bit. And we need a prison control room, which is this one, which we can put right in here. Then we need a contraband room. I like to put my contraband room kind of off the kind of off this one. That way it makes sense because they'd be close by per se. And that way it kind of makes it a bit more challenging for the players to be like, oh, you know, there, I have to go and do this. Or, you know, it makes it less tempting because it's so close to, you know, where the cells are, or the guards are and whatnot. Alright, now I just need wardens. I don't remember what his is. Oh, here it is. Sorry, my brain's a little funky today. You know, so then you have the warden's office. Kind of stick him wherever you want. You know. Kind of stick him right there. Need your maintenance office, which you have this one, and you have this one. So it's kind of however, I'm sorry, not these. You have this one and this one. So I'll maybe kind of put this off to the side over here. Alright, so there's a very, very basic layout. It's kind of very separated, which is totally okay, because you can go in and fix it. For right now, it's a good start. Definitely make sure you have your work areas. I know when I was doing mine that I kind of forgot about them, so there weren't any jobs for my prisoners to do. And I was like, oh, that's not helpful. So, yeah, you definitely want to have that available for them. So, when they need to make some money, they at least have options. So, you can see the checklist is checked, or everything is gone, which means that the prison is ready to play. So, once you've made your changes, or, you know, once you've kind of fixed everything up the way you want it to look. Kind of creates separateness if you so desire. And then make sure you have ways of getting out, like through doors and stuff for your prison. I also ran into that issue when I was first trying to figure out how this works, because I ran into the issue that there weren't doors to easily, you know, get in and out of. And you'll want to probably, you'll want to, excuse me, you'll want to have a barrier like the barbed wire outside. That way it helps make the escape a little bit more, not so easy. So like if they were to dig a tunnel underneath, they don't, they can't just, you know, dig a tunnel and be like, hey, freedom, I'm good, you suck, because you didn't think to put in a fencing. So go ahead and throw some of that in there. So I'll do a quick little fencing in, connect it. I tend to follow outlines because I don't like going off course very much. Oops, not like that. And voila, it is now boxed in. So once you have that, you can click on your prison check, and you know it's passed all its checks, so you can preview it. So now you see how it all works. You know, you can now check things out. You can jump on the desks and stuff and things. So you can, you know, all the desks have different items and whatnot. So it's a little far away. As you can see, the character, there's a lot of open space that I could have put things a little bit closer, but for a rough concept, you know, kind of how that works, you know. So yeah, that's at least the basics of the editor. It's really super easy to use. If you don't know what you want to make or you don't understand the zones, you can use the preset rooms, which are really easy. So yeah, that's the editor for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed.